So let's assume now that our partner's made a preemptive opening bid at the 3 level, and let's look at how we might respond to that bid in different situations. A good guideline for helping you to respond to your partner's preemptive opening bid is the phrase put up or shut up. So what does that mean? Well, the shut up bit means that often you're not going to have support for partner, and it's best just to pass. Remember that their hand is unlikely to be much use unless their own long suit is trumps. So even if you don't have support for partner's suit, it's probably best to pass and not to attempt to rescue. Um, Remember that if you've got your own long suit but have no support for your partner, it's quite possible that they don't have support for your long suit. So just by bidding on, you're just going to raise the level of the bidding and potentially cause a bigger problem. So it's best just often to pass when, even when you have no support for your partner. There are times when it's appropriate to rescue, and we'll look at a good hand that you could do that on in a minute. The put up bit talks about the idea of raising your partner's preempt. And you do that if you've got some really good cards in your own hand that represent obvious tricks. And what I mean by that is they're tricks that can be taken quite quickly. Remember that partner might not have many cards in any of your side suits. They've got one long suit, but the rest of their hand is likely to have not too many cards in some of the other suits that they hold. Therefore, we're not going to be able to play many rounds of your side suits to set them up. So if the tricks aren't available quickly, they're probably not going to be available at all. Now, we looked at this idea of quick tricks when we looked at the last lesson when we were dealing with responses to week twos. So just a quick reminder, if you've got a top honor in the trump suit, the ace, king, or the queen in partner's preemptive trump suit, any of those are obviously worth one trick. They're likely to fill a hole in partner's suit and are definitely going to be worth adding a trick when the contract is played. If you think about outside suits, though, remember that these are the ones that it's unlikely there'll be many rounds of that suit played. So unless you can take your tricks quickly, like aces and kings, you're not really going to make much headway with those, and not going to make many tricks at all. So the way to value your quick tricks in other suits is if you've got something like the ace king, that would certainly be 2 tricks. You'd expect to be able to make 2 tricks there. The ace queen you'd value as 1.5. The king and the queen without the ace, you'd value that as 1 trick, assuming that you're going to lose one of those two to the opponents who might hold the ace. And if you've just got the king with at least another card, that's normally worth half a trick only. So when you look at your hand, you can evaluate quickly. And if you've got around 3 quick tricks in your hand, it's going to be worth raising to the next level of the preempt, pushing that up. You may well have a chance now of making the contract. Okay, you would bid a new suit only with a really good hand. So this is the rescue concept that we talked about just earlier. You would really only do that if you had a good hand and an excellent alternative suit, and we'll see that soon. The other thing that does come up occasionally is players consider bidding 3 no trump. Now this can be a pitfall. You might think that if partner's got one long suit and we've got the other suits covered, that might be sufficient to bid 3 no trump. But here it's likely that it's only going to be a good bid if you've actually got support for your partner's suit. You have to have some cards in that partner's suit so that they can set up their suit to make the tricks that are available by running that long suit. So just having 1 card in their long suit might not be enough. You'd need probably 3 cards, preferably a golden card like an honor in their suit would be worth having if you were considering bidding 3 no trump. And we'll look at those in a minute as well. Okay. The other thing that does come up and is a common mistake in bridge after a preemptive opening. If you are the person who makes a preemptive opening bid, you are normally not expected to bid again. You would only do that if you were forced by your partner to bid, where if they, for example, if they change the suit, that may be a forcing bid. But normally, once you've made a preemptive opening bid, you've described your hand perfectly, you have nothing further to say, and you would normally pass and respect your partner's judgment, whatever they did from there on. So let's look at some examples now of responding to partners' preemptive opening, and particularly this concept of quick tricks and when to raise and when not to raise. Okay, so firstly, let's assume here partner has opened 3 spades. Our partner has opened 3 spades. They're showing a 7-card spade suit, a good 7-card spade suit, and not much else at all. North passed, it's our turn to bid. Here's our first example hand. If we held this hand, hand G, what would we do? Well, we've got some spade support, which is okay, of course. Our partner's got plenty of spades anyway, and none of our spades are that special, so we're not filling any gaps in the spade suit. But our hand has got some great features here. They won't have to play too many rounds of the other suits here to be able to set up and get to the tricks in our hand. So they're very likely to be able to win 2 tricks in hearts, at least 1 trick in one trick in diamonds, and 1 trick in clubs. So there's 4 quick tricks available to our partner there if they were to play this in a spade contract. So that's more than enough to consider raising this from 3 spades to 4 spades, in the expectation now that with partner having quite a few tricks, they're probably going to win 6 tricks in the spade suit. There's a very good chance now that they are going to be able to make 10 tricks in total and make a 4 spade contract here. So very good chance of making 4 spades. So we would raise here because we've got these 4 quick tricks available: 2 in hearts, 1 in diamonds, and 1 in clubs. Okay, here's a hand without so many quick tricks, hand H. So if we had this hand here and partner open 3 spades, we probably would want to just pass. We've got a nice hand. It's a good defensive hand. We would prefer to be defending the opponent's contract with cards like these, because we've got quite a lot of trick taking potential in some of their contracts, but that's not available to us here. It's very unlikely that partner's going to be able to use many of the good cards in our hand to develop tricks in the other suits here. They've got to play the diamond suit in particular. They've got to play that at least twice. They're likely to lose to the ace and the king before they can set up any diamond tricks. The defenders may be able to stop us reaching diamonds and cashing any diamond tricks at all. So the diamond holding is pretty much worthless. They've got to play the hearts and the clubs several times to set up their tricks there as well. We may well make a heart trick. They may well make 1 or 2 club tricks, but there's not sufficient value in this hand to support raising partner. So here we don't have these quick tricks. They're going to have to keep playing the side suits several times to be able to develop tricks in our hand, and it's unlikely they've got many cards in those side suits. So here's a situation where it would be appropriate to pass. Now it's quite likely that we've got the balance of the points here, but at least we've stopped the opponents making their own part score. So we would pass 3 spades, and hopefully partner wouldn't go down too many tricks. Let's look at the situation where we consider whether it's appropriate to bid a new suit in response to our partner's preemptive opening. So here, partners West, they've got this hand here, 7 good cards in diamonds, 7 high card points in total. It's a good hand to preempt with 3 diamonds, and I think most players would open that hand 3 diamonds. North passes, and it's East's turn to bid. This is our hand. So this is an example of a hand where it might be appropriate to actually bid our own good suit. We've got a really strong hand here. Unfortunately, what's happened here is partners made a preemptive bid, but actually the only person who's been preempted is us rather than the opponents, because it's very likely we've now got the best hand at the table. So we would have preferred a more leisurely auction where we could have demonstrated our heart suit to our partner. Here we're going to have to take a chance now. We haven't got diamond support really, but we're not worried about that. We're more worried about a potential heart contract, which could be better for us here. So with 16 high card points and with a really good 6-card heart suit, it's well worth a bid of 3 hearts here to partner. This is the kind of quality of hand and suit you have to have before you consider rescuing partner from their 3 diamond opening bid. Okay, so 3 hearts is a good bid here on the East hand. It's a forcing bid. This is one of the few times where we ask the person who's preempted to bid again. Now, if they've got no support for hearts, they would have to just bid 4 diamonds. And there we would just accept that 4 diamonds is the final contract, and although we haven't got great diamond support, we have some good quick tricks for them, so they may well have a chance of making a 4 diamond contract here. But hopefully we're looking for a heart game here. We might be able to make 4 hearts, so we bid 3 hearts, and here in this situation opener has got 3 card support for hearts, and they would actually raise to 4 hearts, and we would play in 4 hearts, and we'd have a very good chance of making 4 hearts on some good declarer play on these cards here. So there's a very good chance of making a 4 heart contract here, rather than playing in diamonds. 4 hearts is obviously going to be a better contract. It requires fewer tricks to make the game bonus, of course. So that's the example where it is appropriate to bid a new suit. So as you can see, in most situations you won't have either a suit or a hand as good as that, and it won't be appropriate to take that action. So there might be times, particularly when partner has preempted at the 3 level with a minor suit, clubs or diamonds, when the best contract might be 3 no trump. But to respond 3 no trump, we have to be pretty careful here. There are a few pitfalls. So firstly, let's remember what's going on here. We must assume that partner's got nothing in any other suits. They've made a preemptive opening, so they've got a weak hand. They're showing you a long suit, but we must assume that they don't have actually very much else in any of the other suits. Therefore, if you're going to bid 3 no trumps, you're going to need to have, firstly, a fit with partner's suit. You're going to need to have cards in their suit so that you can set their suit up and then cross to their hand to run off the long suit winners that you've set up in their suit. If you don't have several cards in their suit, it may be very difficult to play 3 no trump because you won't be able to set up their suit and cash winners in it. Okay. The other thing you're definitely going to need is cover in any of the other suits, because the opponents are likely to find their best suit to lead. So you'll have to have cover in all of the other suits so that you can stop the opponents winning too many tricks in the other suits before you can set up partner's long suit to cash your source of tricks in 3 no trump. Okay. The other alternative is sometimes you can bid 3 no trump, assuming that you actually have enough tricks available in your own hand and you won't even need to think about using partner's suit as a source of tricks. That's a bit rare. It doesn't come up so often, but that is another situation where it would be appropriate to bid 3 no trumps after a 3 level preempt. So let's look at some examples here. Partners open 3 diamonds. This is our hand. Now this is a great hand here for raising to 3 no trump. We've got cover in all of the other suits. We've got the spades, the hearts and the clubs all stopped. Admittedly, we've only got 1 stopper in each, but the key thing here that we've also got is we've got a golden card in partner's diamond suit. That king of diamonds is likely to fill a gap and help us set the diamond suit up, and we've also got a couple more diamonds there, so as soon as the opponents lead, we can win whatever they lead and we can play on diamonds and hopefully get to partner's hand to cash off maybe 7 cards in the diamond suit on top of our other 3 aces. We may well make 10 tricks in no trumps here. So this is the kind of hand where it might be appropriate to make 3 no trumps. There are times when you won't be able to do it. There are times when partner's diamond suit won't be good enough, then you can't set it up before the opponents can get in and cash their winners. But 3 no trumps is probably a good response on that hand there. Here's another hand, hand J. We've actually got more points here. We've got some quick tricks here, and we haven't got much in the way of diamond support here. Now here we would not want to bid 3 no trumps, even though we've got the other suits well stopped. The reason we don't want to bid no trumps here is because it's very unlikely we're going to be able to set up tricks in partner's long diamond suit here. We've only got 1 diamond card. So once we've played that, we've got no more ways to get to partner's hand. Don't forget, partner's got a weak hand, a preemptive hand. It's very unlikely they've got good cards in any of the other suits, so we can't assume that there's any way that we can get to partner's hand once we've played the 4 of diamonds. So if partner has to lose some tricks, if we have to lose some tricks to set up partner's diamonds, we're going to be in trouble on this hand because we won't be able to get back to the diamond suit in partner's hand, which will be our dummy if we're playing in 3 no trumps. So it's best not to play in 3 no trumps here, but because we've got some quick tricks, we're likely to win quickly tricks in all the other suits. suits. We can see 4 quick tricks available to us there. It may well be appropriate that we should simply raise to 5 diamonds here. We've only got 1 diamond card of support, but of course partners trumps will all be winners, or most of them will become winners. So it's well worth gambling on a 5 diamond contract here rather than playing in 3 no trumps. Okay, so that's some of the basics around responding to preemptive bidding. What we're going to look at in part 3 of this series is how to cope when your opponents have made an opening preemptive bid, how to make sure that you still find the best contract between you and your partner, and that their preempt doesn't freeze you out of the auction.